Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am Game Master Bloodworth, and as you can see by the graphics, today's video I'm going to be talking about the Blackmoor Foundation's History, Maps, and Lore from 1971 to 1985, the early fantasy RPG works of Dave Arneson. So, I did a video previously detailing or just going over the advanced uncorrected proof copy of this, which Griffith Morgan, the runner of the Kickstarter and the author of this, had sent out to all of the Kickstarter backers so that we could start to see kind of like a preview copy of the of the finished product. And now I have received the finished product, so I'm going to talk a little bit about this as well and talk about the differences between the draft copy and this copy, as well as some other products that I think that you should definitely look into in getting so that you can get a more fuller history of the role that Dave Arneson and others surrounding him played in really the creation of the hobby and just kicking off the fantasy tabletop role-playing game hobby, which actually predated Dungeons and Dragons in 1974 by at least 3.5 to 4 years. So, and some of it might even push back into the into the latter part of the 1960s as well. So let's talk about the books themselves and the difference between the two versions. So again, I initially spoke about the advanced uncorrected proof, which was not for sale and won't be something that I even give away. What I'll probably do, because there is no PDF of this, is I will probably open this thing up like wide enough where I can make scans, and when I do the overview of the and go more in depth, I should say, with videos detailing Blackmoor Foundations, then I'll be able to show those particular sections, whether they be maps or whatever, so that you can easily follow along with what I'm talking about. So in the meantime, let's start going through this here. So what I wanted to do was I was doing a page-by-page comparison between the two because I wanted to see what was added in that wasn't in the initial draft. And so that first inclusion of new material comes on page 31 and 32. So I've marked these off, and it's the inclusion of a description, and then you can see on page 32 a map. So this is called the Dutch map. I've saved this one for last, even though it may have come first. Now this is Griffith Morgan speaking. He is the author and the compiler of all of these articles and artifacts, I should say, as well, to put together this presentation, this book. There were over 100 items in the envelope we received from Ken Fletcher. We had so much to review that, as has happened before, some items got neglected as there were so many other new exciting papers in this trove. I almost didn't include this map in the book because I could not make heads or tails of it. These brief background details were passed on to me during a phone conversation with T.H. Boggs. In the year when Arneson was starting up his Blackmoor campaign, he also had been running a Napoleonic campaign game set in Holland. There are several mentions of this Dutch campaign in the corner of the tabletop, and there are several Blackmoor players who have mentioned taking part in this series of games. The map Arneson was using in the Dutch campaign is one he traced from an old map. Thus, when he began to develop his fantasy world, he used the same map as a reference in creating the first maps for Blackmoor. I find all of this very plausible. First and foremost, this map was given to Ken Fletcher as a resource for future Blackmoor projects that were being planned at the time. Also, recycling materials and ideas is very common throughout Arneson's game designs. Lastly, the story of the Dutch map has been shared for some time within the oral tellings of the Blackmoor history. So that is the inclusion and difference between the draft and this final copy. Now, they do not get caught up and matched because I went through page by page between the two, side by side to try to determine when they finally matched up with each other, if at all, if it ever was. And they do actually match up on pages 79 and 80, so much later on in the book, and they come to the point where in the draft copy there were several placeholder pages, and so when it came together here, those pages were removed. So even with the inclusion of 2 new pages, we end up with we finally get caught up on pages 79 and 80. So when I start covering this here, and I just came across a map that looks gorgeous, so I'm going to, and now I just lost it. I am going to just show off some of the art and and all of the art and all of the maps in this book are hand sketches, right? So there's a nice picture there, and part of the galley fighting. So it's a combat on a on a ship here, and then there is the crash, which is above that, which I really can't make heads or tails of what the crash means, but the part of galley fighting is certainly clear to see what is going on there, and before each there are descriptions of what is going on either on the map, establishing the provenance of the map or the image. And in this particular one, it says the Fletcher sagas. And so Ken Fletcher had a collection of materials, I'm assuming from Dave Arneson and others. And so when they start coming together, this is where they're the players of the Blackmoor group, or Dave Arneson himself, or Mr. Fletcher and others are just relaying the information as they remembered it and as they can make out from here. Here's a nice Blackmoor map as well, and we have the city and the castle of Blackmoor right there in the center of this map. This particular hand-drawn map was made in 1983. Here is another map of the village of Blackmoor, and this is also 1983. But some of the earlier maps, which some of them are not labeled. So this is the town map. So either 1971 or 1972. And I will hold it up this way so you can see. And it's hand drawn, and there's hand colored in, and everything labeled and everything. And the description here is the Blackmoor town map, Dave Arneson, circa 71 to 72, and this is from David Magari's collection. So as I dig through this and I come across the things that I think are would be most interesting to focus specifically on, I will do that in future videos. Now, some other things that I really do believe that you should get, because this was a Kickstarter. It's been fulfilled, so I think that it might actually be possible to get this and to purchase this now. I should have done this ahead of time. That's why this is unscripted. And
Good afternoon and welcome to Unscripted.
Let's do this. So the Fellowship of the Thing is a website run by Griffith Morgan, and has all of their other materials that like the Secrets of Blackmoor. I picked this up from Robert Kuntz's own website as well. So that's called treelinestudios.com and threelinestudio.com, and you can pick up a copy of this as well. So the True Genius of Dave Arneson, and I'll cover this book in the future as well in much more detail. That is finally out in PDF, so I have to purchase a PDF copy of this so that I can then detail some of the finer points of that book to see. So I certainly became a much more aware fan of Dave Arneson and the role that he played and his group from this video, The Secrets of Blackmoor. So I do highly recommend that you check that out on the website that I'm going to show. I just have to do a little fix here, and like I said, I should have. This is kind of a last minute thing that I did here, but now I can go and I can zoom you in on this so that you can see clearer. So the Fellowship of the Thing Ltd. This is the website, and it is just this website. So it's TFOTF, I think. TFOTT.com. Sorry about that. It's hard to see that small font there. So the foundations. Let's see if you can purchase this right now. Yes, so you can purchase this now. So you can get this, and let's see. So going to the store, it is $40. $40 for this, and let's see if you can still get the Secrets of Blackmoor, which hopefully you can. You can get the DVD, and the DVD is $14.95. Oh my gosh. Definitely jump on this. This is well worth it. $14.95 is a super value, and you will learn so much about the early days of of fantasy role playing and Dungeons and Dragons and such. So it is certainly well worth $14.95. That's something that I'll say. Go out there and grab one while you can. Hopefully there's a big enough stock for most of my subscribers. If you haven't already gotten it, there'll still be some available there. You will not regret $15 to get this DVD. So I'm really excited about digging further into the Blackmoor Foundations, and then matching it up with rewatching The Secrets of Blackmoor, probably for like my fourth time now, and then starting to dig into Dave Arneson's True Genius from Robert Kuntz, and just looking forward to further, enhancing my knowledge of the earliest days of the hobby that has done so much for me, and is really the focus of my channel here on YouTube, is the old school tabletop role playing hobby, and the various elements of it that I think even the modern players today would gain so much of an appreciation for the foundations of its hobby by picking up some of these books and these DVDs and other resources as well, to have a better understanding of how the hobby came about, who was involved with it at the time, and what was the process that they used to develop all of this and have it all come together in 1974 to create Dungeons and Dragons. So all of this predates Dungeons and Dragons, leading up to it, and we wouldn't be sitting here talking about this hobby today if it wasn't for the groundwork that began in the late 60s and early 70s before 1974. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I encourage you to subscribe and hit the alert button so that when I do start breaking down the Blackmoor foundations and showing off some of the PDF scans that I do and cover in more detail, that you'll be able to follow along and learn along with me as I go through the process of digging into these details much further. So you'll have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you on a gaming screen or at a gaming table sometime soon. You all take care.